So hello everyone and welcome to Career Launcher. So in today's class we are going to discuss about the current burning topic, and this is with regards to the we had seen the NEET controversy where the NEET exam paper was leaked, and then we will discuss about NTA, that is National Testing Agency, which is supposed to conduct exams for NEET and other exams. We will discuss about that. We will discuss about Ministry of Education because it is very much in the news, and recently we have seen students march to the parliament on 20th July. We'll be talking about it, and Mr. Sonam Wangchuk's fast, etc. So let us start. Okay, but before moving on, guys, if you are preparing for this year's CLAT exam, then this class is very important. So on 26th July, that is this Sunday, in the online mode, we'll be having a discussion, CLAT 2027 race to NLUs. And if you are a paid batch student, you can get it for free. Otherwise, you have to pay 48 rupees plus some other taxes. So basically, you have to download the Google Lens app. First, you download the Google Lens app and scan this QR code, which is actually on the right side, and you will get a link in front of it. Click on it and you'll reach here. Okay. Or what you can do is just Google search. This is the easiest way. Race to NLU Career Launcher. Just search this. You will get this link, lawinterest.com. Click here and you will reach here. CLAT aspirants wait all year for one starting gun. So this you can watch. Click on secure your seats or register now, and you can watch. You can see all these. So you can scroll down also, and you will get to know a lot of other things. And you must register it. You will get a lot of benefit. And please remember the date also. 26th July is very important. Okay. Now, so let us start with the today's topic. And the today's topic is, first, let us discuss about the NEET controversy. Okay, what happened was we are having a all India medical exam, which is called as NEET, National Eligibility and Test Undergraduate Exam. In 2026, this year, actually, it was conducted on 3rd May. And what happened was actually almost around 2.27 million. It means 22.7 lakh students sat for this exam, which is a huge number. Okay. Seeking admission to undergraduate medical and dental courses. So for medical exam, they sat, and it got to know later on after the exam that the question paper got leaked. So there were some reports that, there were reports that the people, it got leaked from inside or somewhere, the question center or something like that happened. And a lot of teachers, the question makers and many others were actually a lot of CBI raids at the house, Rajasthan police, etc. They took the action, etc. And this. So what happened was 3rd May, the question paper leaked. 12th May, it was announced. So people started saying that the question paper has been leaked. And after that, actually, we had seen a pre-circulated guest paper. But guest paper does not mean actually a lot of questions directly matched with the exam. So it was realized that yes, it was found that the paper had got leaked. So people filed petitions, etc. A lot of things happened. I'm sure you must be aware. In fact, there were some reports that perhaps in 2024 also something similar had happened. That was the allegation by many of the students. So you should know, before NEET, it was called as AIPMT, All India Pre-Medical Test, that was called. And at that time, it was conducted by CBSE. And now in the last few years, since 2017, we have seen a new body called as National Testing Agency, which conducts these exams. So not only NEET, but many other exams are conducted by National Testing Agency, NTA. Okay. And yes, we are talking about the same, right? Something similar had happened perhaps even in 2024. So we have seen a lot of incidents with regards to that. So basically, we're not going in that detail, but yes, perhaps it got leaked from there were reports that from Sikar, Rajasthan, actually these things happen over a period of time. There were some chemistry teachers, other faculties which were arrested. A lot of investigations happened, etc. Okay, so these things were actually there. Now, and of course, at that time, the education minister is Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan. So he admitted that there was a breach in the command, etc. and all. And he said that from next year, we'll be having computer-based exam will happen, actually. So, of course, the Education Minister of India actually is the one, the main nodal minister in this regard. Okay, why we're talking about it? Because we will see about Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan's protest against Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan also. And if you see it, we have seen a lot of occasions where the questions have been leaked. We don't know the exact numbers, but actually what the leader of opposition said, it was somewhere around 152 in the last 1 decade, etc. and all. So the idea is we had seen a lot of occasions where actually the question papers were leaked, and actually what leads to is merit is being suppressed. So whenever a question paper leaks, what happens? The merit is being suppressed, and it is problematic because, of course, merit is very important. For example, if the medical exam is leaked, then of course the doctor who will become the doctor is not the real doctor. And let's say, imagine I and you get admitted to the hospital and the doctor has passed the examination by cheating. So what will doctor do? So that's why merit is very important. Not only for doctor, for anything, whether it was a civil service exam or a judiciary exam or a CLAT exam or any other exam. Merit is very, very important. And these things, you are a mature student. Now, recently I was seeing a BPSC prelims exam was also postponed. So there are a lot of issues with regards to proper conducting of exam. Either it is being postponed. So for example, there are many state PCS exams which are supposed to be conducted in 1 year, but it takes 2, 3, 4 years. We have seen a lot of occasions. So of course, these are problematic things that have been criticized. And because of course, it is actually the right of the students that they should get a fair exam. And it should be on time. Because a lot of exams we have seen, it take 2, 3, 4 years to complete. That also is not very correct. Okay, now let us talk about Ministry of Education. But since we are talking about it, so we'll go a little bit about the history of Ministry of Education. So first of all, actually, let us talk about Ministry of Education. It is a ministry, education, of course, responsible for policy implementation related with national education. Now, you should know that in 1947, on the first time, in the first cabinet also, there was Ministry of Education. And at that time, the minister was Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, the first education minister of India. Because these can be asked in the exam. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. Why we are discussing it, even from academic point of view, these are very important. For example, education ministry is in the news. They will ask who was the first education minister of India. They will ask who is the minister of state for education. They will not only ask cabinet minister. So ye dhyan rakhiyega. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, his birthday is on 11th November. And that's why 11th November is celebrated as National Education Day. Okay. Now, please do not get confused. He is not APJ Abdul Kalam. APJ Abdul Kalam was a scientist. Actually, and he was a different person, even different time period also. He was almost 1 or 2 generations late. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad was the first education minister of India. He was a distinct person. He was different from Mr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Okay, do not get confused. And it was called as Ministry of Education from 1947 till 1985. During the Rajiv Gandhi ji time, he changed the name of the ministry to Ministry of Human Resource Development, MHRD. And then recently, after National Education Policy 2020, it was renamed as Ministry of Education. That is what you should be knowing. Now, these are very basic facts and you should be knowing it. So what was it? 1947 to 1985. It was called as Ministry of Education. 1985, Mr. Rajiv Gandhi changed the name to Ministry of Human Resource Development. In 2020, National Education Policy, third National Education Policy came, headed by Mr. K. Kasturi Ranjan. So they recommended that the name of the ministry should be again changed back to Ministry of Education. So again, it became Ministry of Education. Okay, that is what you should be knowing about. Now, let us talk about the cabinet ministers and all the other ministers. So the cabinet minister under Ministry of Education is Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan. He is the cabinet minister. Okay, under Ministry of Education. And there are two minister of states. There are two minister of states. One is Mr. Sukanda Majumdar. He is Minister of State in Ministry of Education. And both are actually Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan and Mr. Sukanda Majumdar is from BJP. Then Mr. Jayan Chaudhary, he is also Minister of State for Education, but he is actually from Rashtriya Lok Dal. So these three are ministers in Ministry of Education. Cabinet rank is Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan and the other two are Minister of State. Now, what is cabinet rank? What is Minister of State? We have discussed here. And this is important for CLAT examination. We have seen a lot of occasions where ministries are asked. The name of the ministers are asked. So that's why it is very, very important. Please read it. And whatever I have discussed about Human Resource Development Ministry, the Cabinet Ministry, the Ministry of Education, the name change, that is also very important. Okay. So please watch this class to know what is Cabinet Minister, what is Minister of State. Okay. That is what you should be knowing. Now, you must be knowing, so actually since 2016, we have seen an IRF ranking being released by Ministry of Education to rank the colleges, etc. You know these things, right? Now, let us talk a little bit about National Education Policy. So, the first National Education Policy came in 1968. Kothari Commission, it was called. We are not going in that detail what they recommended. So, they recommended that at least 6% of the GDP should be invested in education. Second National Education Policy came in 1996 and it was slightly modified in 1992. Operation Blackboard, etc. came there. Then third National Education Policy, actually the draft got published during the COVID lockdown, etc. It was very much in the news. Although this was being prepared for a much longer period. So Mr. K. Kasturi Ranjan, former ISRO chairman, actually he died last year also. So under him, actually committee was set up that is called as third National Education Policy, and this recommended that Ministry of Human Resource Development should be renamed as Ministry of Education. Okay, that's what you should be knowing about. Now, let us talk about NTA, National Testing Agency. Now, why it is important? Because this is the body which conducts examination. It is an autonomous body under Department of Higher Education, of course, under Ministry of Education, established in November 2017 to conduct examination. So there have been some criticism also that they were not able to conduct it. There has been lack of transparency, public accountability, etc. These things, of course, these are headed by the bureaucrats, IAS officers and all. Okay, you can see it here. Like, for example, earlier we used to have there was an exam for engineering college, AIEEE, AIPMT for medical. These were conducted by CBSE. Then there was separate IIT exam, etc. Now, all these exams are conducted by one body called as NTA. So, JEE mains exam, NEET, CMAT, very famous. CUET is very famous, everyone knows. And many other exams are actually conducted by this body called as National Testing Agency. Okay, and you should know what happened was, let us talk a little bit about that. Just hold on for a second. Okay, so what happened recently was, in this year, when NEET UG exam happened, it was conducted by NTA on 3rd May. Now, 3rd May 2026 is very important, and 15th May 2026 is also very important. I'll tell you why. CGI's remark. Okay, we'll discuss about that also. 3rd May, the exam happened. Later on, they got to know that paper got leaked. Again, the exam happened on 21st June. Okay, that is one thing. During this period, just 3rd May exam happened, 15th May 2026. Why we are saying? Because I think somewhere on 12th May, the government accepted that yes, the paper got leaked and we'll have to conduct exam again. So a lot of anger was there. That 22.7 lakh people sat in the exam and the paper got leaked. And 15th May, the CGI had said, actually, he was hearing the matter and he said, he was listening to someone's petition to designate a person as senior advocate. And he said actually that there are some unemployed youth who are cockroaches, who are parasites, who attack the system. Some become social media, some become media, some become other media, etc. Other activists, etc. Now, that led to a lot of hue and cry that the CGI was calling the unemployed as cockroaches. However, actually, so these things happen, a lot of protests happen, and after that, he clarified that no, he was hearing a matter with regards to a fake degree, LLB degree. And he said, actually, he was referring to those people who were actually using a fake degree, etc., having fake degree to practice as a lawyer. So he was referring to that, and he was not calling all the unemployed youths as the parasite or cockroaches. However, later on, what happened was a person called as Mr. Abhijit Dipke. He was there in, I think, Boston University, America, and he made this social media handle, a website also, Cockroach Janta Party. That's just satirical. Next day, on 16th May. And to the surprise of everyone, a lot of actually people got supported him. And in fact, in Instagram, we had seen a lot of support, a lot of followers, etc. And even he himself would have been surprised that how many people have actually supported him. It is not a political party. It is till now not registered as a political party, but it was actually a satirical website, etc. and all. And he had earlier served in Aam Aadmi Party also. So we had taken a separate class on it. Go to our video section, and we had taken a separate class where he actually came back, etc. We are not going in that detail. And Mr. Sonam Wangchuk's fast also started. So I'll give you a little idea. Mr. Abhijit Dipke, he came back on 6th June and he said that we will start a protest. Why? Because we had seen actually the NEET exam. On one side, he made Cockroach Janta Party. Cockroach word came from the CGI's remark. Although CGI had later clarified it. Second thing is actually at the same time, yes, the 3rd May actually paper happened on somewhere on 12th, 13th May. It was found that actually the government accepted that, okay, the paper has got leaked. We have to conduct exam again. So this anger was there. And that is why on 6th June, he came back and he decided to start a protest against this and all. And at the same time, Mr. Sonam Wangchuk, he had previously fasted also for Ladakh last two years back also for having to get 6th schedule. So you can search on YouTube, Ladakh 6th schedule, Sonam Wangchuk, career launcher law entrance. You search this on YouTube, you will get our video where we have discussed about how he demanded 6th schedule status for Ladakh also. Until now it has not been given. But there are some news. Let us see what will happen. But he was demanding, so he was arrested last year also under NSA for 170 days. Later on he was released, etc. and all. So he decided to sat on fast unto death on 28th June. And actually, on 18th July, when he was his 21st day fast, the police actually took him, I'm sure you must have seen, to the hospital, Safdarjung Hospital. Okay, and then his wife filed a petition, and recently, I think yesterday I saw that yes, Delhi High Court allowed him to move to Vedanta Hospital, the private hospital, which is very famous hospital in Gurgaon. So these things were there, and they all were protesting in Jantar Mantar in Delhi. So that happened. 18 July he was taken. Now 28th July there was a plan that they will march towards Sansad. So this is new Parliament building, and this is new Parliament building, and this is Jantar Mantar. So the distance is somewhere around 2.4 kilometers. So they decided to walk, and a lot of people actually supported it. And on the same day, actually, the Parliament had begun the monsoon session on the same day. However, actually, it could not continue for much, and it was the Parliament was adjourned and all. So when Delhi's CJP Chalo Sansad March happened, a lot of people actually joined it. However, police also did its lathi charge, etc. A lot of people were beaten up, etc. You must have seen it and all. And these things happened. However, there was some unfortunate incident where we have seen actually the policemen, the male policemen beating women, and they were hitting on their what we call it as private parts, which was very unfortunate. And if these videos are genuine, then of course it is a very painful thing, because this actually highlighted, and they were actually smiling. And if this is a genuine video, of course it is very unfortunate. Okay, next what happened was the protest these things happened, and finally Mr. JP Nadda decided to meet the two members of the CJP, and actually they gave their demands in front of Mr. JP Nadda is the Minister of Health and Family Welfare. So he met it, and all these things happened, and they gave the recommendations that okay, these are our demands. So that is what it was in the news. And of course, the first demand is what? Resignation of Dharmendra Pradhan, the Education Minister of India, the Cabinet Minister. That was the main demand. Okay, so these things were there. And there were some reports that Sonam Wangchuk, actually there were some reports coming in that perhaps he will break the fast, but now he has said that I will not break the fast. Okay, we'll come to that also. Now, on the next day, 21st July, Mr. Rahul Gandhi sat outside the Prime Minister's office, outside the Prime Minister's residence and PMO area. Why? He was protesting that Prime Minister should apologize for the brutal police action against the protesters. There should be a discussion in the Parliament on education crisis, on the paper leak, and action against those who had leaked the paper, etc. and all, and justice for protesting student. And accountability means answerability to the Education Ministry. So in what sense they are asking for answerability? In the sense that, of course, there has to be some accountability. That's the Education Minister should resign, etc. Okay, what happened was, like, you can search it. Mr. Lal Bahadur Shastri had resigned a very famous incident. You can search it. I think at that time he was a railway minister. Please check this news. Something had happened and he resigned morally. So people say that he should morally resign, etc. Because if something had gone wrong inside his ministry, he should have resigned. Okay, and at the same time he was protesting, and this happened. Actually, the police was taking him in this way, and he had bleeding also. These things were actually very much in the news. And these actually visuals were very much viral, and you can see the right leg is barefooted, and his shoes have gone. And these are some of the reports that actually were there yesterday. Now, what happened was, let us talk about Mr. Sonam Wangchuk. So Sonam Wangchuk, who was in continuous, I would say, fast, he has decided that he will continue the fast. Why? Because he said that police action against the protesters have touched him and moved him, and that's why he will actually continue with the fast. He will not break the fast. He would continue his indefinite underground strike, saying police action against protesters has prompted him to extend the fast, etc. and all. So, in a detailed statement, shoot from Safdarganj, seeing the brutality with which peacefully protesting youth are being dealt, I have decided to continue my fast. That is what you should be knowing. So union ministers like Mr. JP Nadda, the health minister, and Mr. Minister of State for Science, Technology, and other ministers, is having a lot of ministries. Mr. Jitendra Singh, these two ministers visited Medanta Hospital. I have told you Delhi High Court has allowed him, Mr. Sonam Wangchuk, to be moved from Safdarjung Hospital to Medanta Hospital, which is a very famous private hospital in Gurugram. So there Mr. JP Nadda and Jitendra Singh met him, etc. And actually they actually convinced Mr. Sonam Wangchuk, etc. These things were in the news. Okay, now these are the things. Now, when we are talking about this protest, there is actually a lot of what people are saying that this is a deja vu. We have seen similar incident during the previous regime also. So when Mr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister from 2004 to 2014, there was a massive protest that happened in 2011 called as India Against Corruption Movement. Now, what happened was, I'm giving you a little bit glimpse because this can also be asked. We have seen questions from CLAT in the past also. They go in the past and ask questions. So what happened was, we had seen scams, allegation of scams like 2G scam, Colgate scam, and many other scams, etc. There were allegations, Commonwealth scams. We're not going in that detail because we do not have that much time. But what happened was, after that, Mr. Anna Hazare sat for fast and all. A lot of protest happened. Again, at the same Jantar Mantar place. There were other people like Kiran Bedi ji, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, and then later on they formed the party, Aam Aadmi Party. So Aam Aadmi Party was formed. It was genesis from India Against Corruption movement. In fact, Mr. Baba Ramdev and others were also there to support this. Many Bollywood stars at that time had supported that movement, etc. Now, so they were demanding for what? Lokpal. That Lokpal bill should come. However, Lokpal bill was passed somewhere in 2013. And like Mr. Anna Hazare and those were not very much convinced with this law. They wanted a very strong Lokpal. So Lokpal is an anti-corruption body. What we call it as ombudsman at the central level. And Lok Ayukt at state level. We had seen Lok Ayukt even in other states previously also, but that was not very strong. Nowadays, like this law was passed to make it very strong, etc. That was the proposal. And you should know that the concept of ombudsman was originated from Sweden. This is the previous question of ILIT. Like, that's why we are discussing. Right. So basically, what happened was a defender of people. So this is actually an anti-corruption person or anti-corruption body. So head is also called as Lokpal. It is headed by Lokpal. And of course, it has jurisdiction over central government. Anyone who has been Prime Minister, even Prime Minister, Union Minister, Member of Parliament, Group A, B, C, D officers are also under this. Okay. So these are the things they can start a corruption inquiry, etc. But what was actually unfortunate was, in 2013, the Lokpal bill was passed and the first Lokpal was appointed in March 2019. Almost 6 years later, even though the Parliament bill was passed. Justice P.C. Ghosh was appointed as the first chairperson of Lokpal. The first Lokpal chairperson, he remained till 27 May 22. Then we had seen actually an additional charge. So practically this was the first Lokpal and he is the second Lokpal. Justice A.M. Khanwilkar, ex-Supreme Court judge. Okay. And Justice P.C. Ghosh was also former retired Supreme Court judge. These two are retired Supreme Court judges. Now, as far as Lokpal working is concerned, we have not seen actually very big actually catch, etc. That is what it is. A lot of criticism of the Lokpal we had seen, and the most recent criticism was this actually last year in October. The chairperson of the Lokpal, so there is Lokpal and 6 other members were there, so total 7 members were there at that time. I think totally they can have 8. The sanctioned strength is Lokpal, chairperson of the Lokpal, and 7 members. But at that time there was Lokpal and 6 other members, so total 7 members were there, and they had actually released the tender for BMW cars, and it was heavily criticized. A lot of massive criticism happened that actually you can buy BMW car from your own money, but this is actually whatever the expenditure, the Lokpal comes from taxpayers' money. And that's why it was heavily criticized that you are asking for a BMW car. And this actually why? Because a lot of protest had happened, India Against Corruption movement, for coming up with a Lokpal in 2011. And in 2025, they started demanding BMW cars, so it was heavily criticized, etc. And finally, the Lokpal decided to scrap the controversial tender to buy the 7 BMW cars, etc. So these things were actually in the news. That is what it is about. So this is all about today's class. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, share this video. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.